Chapter 41 Nami, I'll pick you up. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Mom, don't chase me, ah. Usopp fled wildly. These murlocs looked extremely powerful. Once caught, they would definitely lose their lives. Luffy, Moonlight, Sanji, come and save me. As he spoke, he hastily blew off the fireworks in his hand as a signal. That's Usopp's direction. He found Nami. Sanji looked at the fireworks soaring into the sky, and immediately turned around and ran towards Usopp. Usopp, Luffy was eating a lot in the village, and inquired about some news. Just after he was full, he saw Usopp signal fireworks. He patted his stomach in satisfaction and ran towards Usopp. There, Joseph and Johnny also took Sauron and ran towards the fireworks. No, that's Usopp, he must have broken into Eren Paradise and was discovered. Nami looked at the direction of the signal fireworks, and couldn't help being surprised. She already knew how many people were in Luffy. They acted separately, and came to the island to find her, so she couldn't help being anxious at the moment. Moonlight, we have to hurry up. Don't worry, and don't underestimate Usopp. Although he looks like that, he is unequivocal at critical moments. Moonlight waved her hand, not in a hurry. Usopp is a character who has survived from adversity and risen from adversity. Although he is timid, he has not been forced to a desperate situation. Moonlight is not worried. Do you have such a high opinion of this long nose? Nami was stunned. She never thought that someone as strong as Moonlight would have such an evaluation of Usopp. Moonlight didn't answer, and walked straight to Eren Paradise. Eren Paradise. Has it appeared? Eren also saw the signal fireworks rising into the sky, so he couldn't help but sneered. His people are everywhere on this island, and he will know as soon as anything happens. When Usopp just broke in, he found out, but he didn't care about such an ordinary person at all. Appeared, not only him, but also other members of the Straw Hat Pirates. Our people have found their traces, Chirp said. This sea area is full of murlocs, and any outsiders who come to the island will be known immediately. I really didn't expect that they are the partners that Nami said, but it's a pity that I sent them to my door to seek death, and I don't know what is good or bad. Kruby said lightly, in his eyes, in this East China Sea, there is no pirate group that can compare with the Dragon Pirates. It's all said, but it's just courting death. Hey, my big knife is already hungry and thirsty. Xiao Ba said hee, a knife was under his tentacles, and it blossomed. That's right, our dragon pirates are the strongest pirates in the East China Sea. A few rookies in the area, don't care at all. Jie. The murlocs all around laughed loudly. Don't take Luffy and others seriously. Okay, open the door to welcome guests, the opponent is a colleague after all. Eren smiled, and ordered people to open the door to welcome Luffy and others. Huh? Why is the door open? Don't take us seriously, did you do it on purpose? Nami, I'm here to take you home. Luffy, Sanji, you are finally here. After a while, Luffy and Sanji arrived almost at the same time. Looking at the Eren Paradise with the gate open, Sanji thought for a while, then understood what was going on, and his face sank. He was underestimated. Luffy yelled directly inside. Hearing this movement, Usopp poked his head out from the hidden grass on one side, and ran over quickly. He was very happy to see Sanji. Luffy. Okay, since the other party opens the door to welcome guests, as guests, we have to behave well. Sanji lit a cigarette, exhaled the smoke, and the three of them walked inside. Where is Nami? Nami, I'm here to take you home. As soon as he came in, Luffy ignored all the murlocs around and shouted loudly. Luffy, keep your voice down, these murlocs are very fierce. Usopp's heart trembled, and he said hastily. It doesn't matter, now the situation has been clarified. Sanji waved his hand, looked around, and finally his eyes fell on Eren sitting on the throne in the center of the paradise. Not surprisingly, he is the captain. Jie. Are you Nami's partners? I'm sorry, Nami is mine, she's just cheating and using you. Seeing the three of them, Eren laughed first. Nonsense, Nami is our companion and has never used me. Who are you? Quickly hand over Nami to me. Hey, Usopp, his nose is longer than yours. Luffy looked directly at Eren and shouted, then he looked at his nose, then at Usopp's nose, and said. You bastard, is this the time to say something like that? Usopp was furious and gave him a chestnut. I see. Luffy held the bag on his head and said aggrievedly. Stop talking nonsense, the situation is clear now, it's a group of 4 versus a group, don't waste time, judging by their appearance, they won't obediently hand over Nami. Sanji exhaled smoke, and his eyes fell on the 3 people beside Eren. These 3 people should be the cadres of the Dragon Pirates. Luffy, these 3 people, I'll take care of them, you just need to take care of their captains. Sanji pointed at Hachi and the 3 of them. It is good. Luffy geared up and looked directly at Eren. Hey, bastard with curly eyebrows, don't underestimate people. Hearing Sanji's words, Hachi couldn't sit still. He is a swordsman after all, and he was underestimated. Haha. Crow Obi smiled, did not speak, but looked at Sanji coldly with a pair of eyes, a trace of disdain flashed in his eyes. Let me deal with you. Kruby snorted coldly and ran up directly. Sanji snorted coldly, also ran up and kicked out. Boom, the 2 forces collided, and they were immediately equal. No one will give an inch. It's interesting, no wonder you, a human being, dare to be so arrogant, but that's all. Sensing Sanji's power, Crow Obi smiled. Sanji's kick was indeed powerful, the kick made his Murloc's body ache. Luffy, Sanji yelled at Luffy. It is good. Without hesitation, Luffy ran directly towards Eren. He wants to fly Eren and bring back Nami. When we don't exist. It's too small to look down on people. Seeing this, Xiaoba and Jiao sneered. Xiaoba opened his tentacles, danced with his sword, and slashed at Luffy. Chirp opened his mouth and spat out, a water arrow spewed out suddenly, and shot towards Luffy. Boom. However, at this moment, a flash of sword light suddenly appeared, and Xiaoba's sword was immediately blocked. A green shadow flashed, but Sauron arrived at the critical moment. Snapped. At the same time, an iron bullet hit Jiao's face, but it was Usopp, facing a strong enemy, both of them shot. Don't disturb our captain. Luffy, leave it to you. The 2 shouted in unison. Chapter 42 Dare to make my navigator cry. You are listening at novelfull.audio. 3 straw hats, act together. It is good. Luffy nodded, his face was gloomy, he clasped his fists, and looked at Eren. I'll beat you up. Jia. Yes, what a courageous declaration, but can you do it? Eren laughed and looked at Luffy with disdain. These human beings are really arrogant. They dare to be so presumptuous in the face of Mr. Eren. I really don't know the heights of heaven and earth. More than that, don't talk about Lord Eren, even Lord Xiaoba, Lord Kruby and Lord Chiu, they are not something they can deal with. They look down on people too much. These human beings always like to do some stupid things. For mere people dare to break into our Eren paradise. Isn't it stupid? The Murlocs all around also burst into laughter. The 4 of Luffy rushed in single-handedly. In their opinion, there is no difference between them and idiots. Bang bang bang. At this moment, Zoro, Usopp, and Sanji fought for a short time and were beaten into the air, especially Usopp. When Chiu bit his mouth, the iron bullet he fired was actually bitten, and then he vomited, and flew back upside down, more than twice as fast as before. Sanji was also blown away by Kruby's powerful body. Although he had great kicking skills, he couldn't kick the mighty Murloc. Sauron himself was injured. After Xiaoba unleashed the 6-sword style, his saber skills were like a violent storm. Sauron just swung the knife, and the wound was touched. Under the violent slash, the pain was unbearable, and he backed up again and again. Finally, he got out of Xiaoba's attack range. He was out of breath and weak, and Luffy just cast the rubber pistol, and the moment his arm was stretched, Eren saw that it was a devil fruit-capable user. He opened his mouth and bit it, and actually bit the ground on the way Luffy was running. Caught off guard, Luffy fell directly into the shallow sea in the center of the paradise. Life and death are unknown. Devil fruit users are indeed powerful, and this ability is also a headache, but they are landlubbers. The Murlocs are the least afraid of devil fruit users, because they are 10 times stronger in the sea than on land. Aaron shook his head. He didn't do much at all. Luffy couldn't do it, he was too weak. The other 3 were also exhausted, suddenly in trouble. Ha ha ha, human beings are fragile, this is just the beginning, it will die. Look at that long-nosed man, he's really in a mess. Facing Mr. Chiu, he has nothing to fight back except to run away. What a waste, Mr. Chiu, bite off his nose for fun. And that curly eyebrow, it's enough to look funny, and it's also funny to run. What kind of cigarettes are you still smoking? It's really embarrassing. The human swordsman with the green algae head is the one. He is already scarred and scarred. He dared to fight swords with Lord Xiaoba. Now it is difficult to defend, let alone counterattack. He wobbled like he was drunk. It's so funny. Ha ha ha, are these people funny, are you laughing at me to death? The battle ended quickly, and the Murlocs looked around, laughing loudly. Too weak, is this human? Chirp shook his head, he still hoped that Usopp would have a good performance, but now it seems that apart from bragging and lying, he is useless at all. Shoo! With a flash of his body, he arrived in front of Usopp like a teleport, and grabbed it. Usopp was shocked, but he couldn't react at all, kicking his legs wildly, but facing the powerful Murloc, he had no resistance at all. I'll bite off your nose and your neck in one bite, and let you die in such a pitiful way, Chirp said coldly. Usopp was shocked and kept struggling, but it was in vain. The gap in strength between the two was too great, and Usopp immediately looked desperate. Usopp, Sanji was shocked and was about to step forward to help, but suddenly Krubby suddenly appeared in front of him, pushing forward with a huge palm. Murloc Karate. Boom! Suddenly, a terrifying air shock wave erupted from his palm. What? Sanji was hit in an instant, a mouthful of blood spewed out wildly, the cigarette in his mouth flew up, and then the whole person flew backwards, just like Luffy, fell into the shallow sea in the center of the paradise, and his life and death were unknown. At the same time, Xiaoba's attack became more rapid and violent, like a gust of wind and a shower, rushing non-stop. Sauron was exhausted, and fell to his knees with a thud. His physical exertion was too great. The wound on his body was completely split open, dripping with blood, and he looked like a bloody man. Go to hell! Xiaoba was merciless, and the Lu Dao Lu violently swung and slashed. Sauron didn't realize it, as if the pain made him extremely weak. Jia, it's over. Aaron smiled, turned his head, and was too lazy to look at it anymore. Shoo! However, at this moment, a crescent-like sword aura descended from the sky, spread violently in a fan shape, and slashed towards everyone. Draw the knife and cut. A cold drink sounded. Bang bang bang. Xiaoba was chopped off, Crow Obi was chopped off, and Chiu was chopped off. All the Murlocs around were chopped off at once. The 3 major cadres of the dragon pirates were blown away at once. Even the shallow sea in the center of the paradise was affected by the sword energy and surged violently. A vortex current surged up, and Sanji brought Luffy back to the shore. Who? Aaron stood up abruptly. Who? Xiaoba, Crow Obi, and Chiu jumped up immediately. Although the sword energy just cut them, their bodies were strong, and the injuries were only minor. Who? All the Murlocs looked over suddenly, they chopped off the 3 major cadres with a single blow, swept all of them, and even made the shallow sea in the center of the paradise rush and turbulent. What the hell is this? Member of the Straw Hat Pirates, Moonlight. At this moment, a black figure slowly walked in from the direction of the gate. Everyone focused their attention and saw a boy in black walking in step by step with a sharp sword in his hand. Behind the boy, followed by a woman, it was Nami. It's just that at this time Nami was following the young man, with tears all over her face, clutching the young man as if grasping a life-saving straw. When she saw Aaron and the others, there was endless hatred in her eyes. The Straw Hat Pirates. Moonlight? Never heard of that. Hearing this, the Murlocs shook their heads, they had never heard of this name. You bastard, you dared to sneak up on me, it hurt me so much just now, Xiaoba said angrily. On his beautiful octopus claws, a crescent moon imprint was left, which was exactly the slash by the moonlight just now, and he was furious immediately. What a powerful sword energy, there is actually such a master among the Straw Hats, but that's all. Crow Obi flicked the sword wound on his body. To the Murloc, it was a minor wound and nothing serious. Bastard, you dare to make a sneak attack. Human beings are indeed despicable bastards. I'll bite you to death, Chirp shouted violently, and rushed directly towards the moonlight. Nami. You seem to have found a helper, but it doesn't look like much. Are you planning to resist me by doing this? Aaron looked at Nami behind Moonlight and smiled. Seeing this gaze, Nami couldn't help but tremble all over. This gaze was her nightmare, it penetrated into her soul, and tortured her for more than 10 years. Moonlight, Nami couldn't help shouting. Rest assured, Moonlight shook Nami's hand instead, and looked at Aaron and the others with cold eyes. You dare to make my navigator cry, you pay the price for it. The Overlord is domineering, Moonlight said coldly, an invisible evil spirit suddenly fluctuated out. Chapter 43 One Sword Flying 3 Major Cadres. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Show, immediately centered on Moonlight and Nami, it spread towards all directions, all the Murlocs around suddenly trembled, fell to the ground, passed out, foamed at the mouth, and fell down one after another. Only a small number of those with strong physical fitness could barely stand, but their bodies were trembling unceasingly, at this moment, except for Sauron, Luffy, Sanji, and Usopp who are not affected, they can still stay awake. Only Aaron, his 3 cadres, and no more than 10 fragmented Murlocs are left standing. The domineering color of LV2 already possesses the ability to control. Moonlight controls the domineering and bypasses the 4 of Sauron. Otherwise, apart from Luffy, they will definitely be affected with their current serious injuries, but even so, because the control is still not good, it has been slightly affected, which is harmless. What happened? Did that human swordsman do it? Hateful, that the Murlocs who were barely standing around couldn't help but looked at each other, and looked at each of their companions who had fallen to the ground, bewildered and surprised. Moonlight, it's good if you come. Usopp took a deep breath, looked at the Moonlight, and then sat down on the ground without grace, joking, what kind of grace does he need now, it's best to be alive. I leave it to you, Moonlight. Sauron also heaved a sigh of relief. He himself was seriously injured, and he was reluctant just now, and now he finally has time to breathe. Moonlight? His strength is even stronger than when I saw it before. Sanji was secretly shocked. Although he had seen the power of Moonlight before, but seeing it again at this time, and still as a companion, he still couldn't help being shocked. Moonlight, Nami's hand gripping the corner of Moonlight's clothes tightened even more. Bastard, what did you do to my companions? Holding up the knife, Xiao Ba shouted. Damn human, what is this? Kruby also looked at Moonlight with a surprised face, his eyes were full of fear. What a powerful human swordsman, amazing. Chiyu's face was full of fighting spirit. Although the Moonlight is powerful, the Murloc fighters are aggressive. The stronger the enemy, the stronger they will be. Don't be careless, this human being is a little too strong. Aaron's face became serious. Even though he was as arrogant as him, seeing the Moonlight at this moment, he couldn't help but get serious. Buzz, at this moment, Moonlight swung his sword again. A crescent-like sword energy suddenly fanned out and slashed towards the 3 of them. Crescent-like waves of sword energy towering, overwhelming, extremely swift and violent. Boom, the sword aura was fast and accurate, and the 3 of them had just reacted when the sword aura had already arrived violently. Even with the Murloc's nervous system, the reaction was still too late. Pft. Pft. There were 3 consecutive muffled sounds of sharp swords piercing into flesh, and the 3 of them were instantly chopped off by a sword, leaving deep sword wounds on their bodies, and fell to the ground, losing their fighting power. Kill the 3 Cadres with 1 sword. And the sword energy remained undiminished, sweeping towards Eren, extremely powerful, violent. Not good. Eren didn't dare to take it hard, so he quickly hid to the side. Boom. The sword chi slashed, and suddenly slashed on the high tower behind Eren. I saw the entire tower, as if the foundation had been cut off, leaving only castles in the air. Suddenly, everything collapsed into ruins. It's amazing, this. Seeing this scene, Usopp was stunned and shocked. This guy, after fighting Hawkeye, has become even stronger. Sauron was secretly startled, and the fighting spirit in his eyes was even more victorious. The stronger the Moonlight, the more fighting spirit he has. In the past, he only had a great swordsman like Hawkeye in his eyes, but now he has Moonlight. Sure enough, after leaving the East China Sea, he realized how big the world is, and he is just a frog in a well. Clap. The cigarette that Sanji had just lit fell to the ground suddenly. He looked at this scene in shock, and then looked at the Moonlight. He was already surprised by the strength of the Moonlight, but now he was even more shocked. It's really amazing. Nami clutched the corner of Yueguang's clothes tightly, her pair of beautiful eyes transformed from uneasiness to confidence. Standing behind such a man, she is the safest in the world. A deep sense of reliability rippling in my heart. Master Xiaoba, Lord Krubi, Lord Chiu. No, they were killed with a sword. Why is this human being so strong, even killing our 3 major cadres? It's just a sword. It's more than that. The tower of our Eren paradise has been completely destroyed. This human being is too terrifying. The Murlocs around looked at the scene in front of them in astonishment, and were startled again and again. I'm sorry, Eren, I didn't expect there to be such a master among human beings. Xiao Ba was panting, but he still kept his breath. Leader, let me show you a joke. We usually boast how powerful we are, but we didn't expect to be killed by someone with a sword. Krubi was also panting, looking up at the sky with a dazed expression. Why is there such a terrifying swordsman among human beings, whose strength is more than 10 times that of his? Damn it, can't you take a single move? Joe's face was filled with resignation, but at this moment he was lying on the ground, unable to move his body, but there was nothing he could do. Okay, you human being, dare to do this kind of thing to my subordinates, and even destroy my tower. Inside, there are all my treasures, as well as my treasured sea charts. Human beings, I want you to pay the price. Seeing all this, hearing the sighs of Xiaoba and the others, and the shock of the Murlocs around, a wave of anger surged in Eren's heart. Eren's eyes turned red all of a sudden, just like a shark in a rage, bloodthirsty, with a ferocious aura, it shoots out. No, Lord Eren is angry, that's too bad. What should I do? The last time Lord Eren got angry was half a month ago. The Eren paradise we built with great difficulty was destroyed by Lord Eren. This time it's terrible. Is the enemy too strong? Master Eren, don't get angry. Yeah, these humans are worthless. The Murlocs around, seeing Eren in this state, shouted as if they saw something terrifying. No, are you going to go berserk? No, we must stop the leader from going berserk, otherwise there will be nothing left of the paradise we worked so hard to build. That's right. Once the leader goes berserk, it will be very scary. The whole paradise will be completely destroyed. Quick, we must stop the leader, we must not let such a thing happen again. Damn it, I can't move my body at all. Xiao Ba and the others also saw Eren at this time, and couldn't help being shocked. However, they were seriously injured and couldn't move at all. They could only watch, anxious. Chapter 44. To that man, it's not worth mentioning. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Dirty human beings, how dare you treat my compatriots so cruelly and destroy my paradise? Haitu, I will tear you apart and sacrifice them with your blood. Eren's eyes were scarlet, and he immediately went into a runaway state. locking on the Moonlight. The body moves, as fast as lightning, and extremely powerful. Wherever it passes, it is like a bulldozer crushing it. Boom boom boom, that the floor under his feet was crushed abruptly by him. He grabbed a heavy stone pillar and threw it towards the Moonlight. Immediately, the stone pillar slammed into it with the force of a jack. Buzz, Moonlight made a move, and suddenly a crescent-like sword energy slashed out. The stone pillar shattered in response, and at the same time the sword energy tore apart, and slammed on Aaron's body. Crack, Aaron's body shook, and he took 10 steps back again and again, but quickly slapped his body, and continued to rush forward unscathed. He actually caught the Moonlight's sword energy with his body. What kind of monster is this? Usopp was taken aback. They knew the power of the Moonlight's sword energy. They could cut everything, even steel. What kind of monster is this Aaron, who can catch the Moonlight's sword energy with his body? Is his body harder than steel? It's amazing. Sanji also took a breath, and he realized that he had seriously underestimated Aaron's strength. That's natural. Aaron's body is the strongest among our Murlocs. Our Murloc strength, body, speed, and wrist strength are 10 times that of your humans. And Aaron, a fighter among Murlocs, has stronger speed and more terrifying wrist strength. Although the swordsman is powerful, how can he be Aaron's opponent? Xiao Ba laughed. Have absolute confidence in Aaron. Yes, that human swordsman can cut us with a single sword. He is indeed the most powerful swordsman I have ever seen, but he is still far behind Aaron. So you are finished. Kruby also sneered, looking at Sauron and others. He said with disdain. How can he compare with Aaron? Gio curled his lips, looked at Aaron who was galloping like a bulldozer in the field, and sneered. What? Hearing this, Nami was taken aback, and looked at Moonlight, full of worry. Moonlight, Usopp couldn't help worrying. Damn it, does it look like it's done? Sanji moved his body a little bit, and that moment just now made his heart ache, but he can't control this anymore. If Moonlight is killed, they won't be able to survive either. No, to that man, this Aaron is not worth mentioning at all. However, Sauron swung his knife horizontally and said coldly, with a look of indifference, have strong confidence in Moonlight. Sauron, hearing this, Sanji shrank his eyes. Zoro, that Aaron is a monster, Usopp couldn't help shouting. Yes, Zoro, Nami also worried. Ha ha. Sauron just smiled lightly, didn't pay attention to other things, and didn't say much, but the meaning was so obvious that it wasn't worth mentioning at all. Clang! At this moment, there was a sudden violent explosion, and Aaron was seen opening his mouth full of sharp teeth, and biting towards Moonlight's sword. He wants to bite off Moonlight's sword and make him lose his weapon. For a swordsman, nothing is more disgraceful than having his sword bitten off. Aaron, seeing this scene, everyone's eyes were focused on it. Do you want to bite off my sword? Moonlight couldn't help laughing. His grass pheasant sword is a supreme artifact bestowed by the system. Even if it is any sword in the world, it cannot compare with it. Even Hawkeye's black knife, Knight, too, on the premise of not using the armed domineering aura, he was able to resist Hawkeye's black knife unscathed. If he used the armed domineering aura, he would be even more powerful. Aaron actually wanted to bite it off. Crack! Aaron tried his best to bite violently, telling Moonlight with his actions. However, in the next second, there was a sound of something breaking in Aaron's mouth, and the teeth broke off suddenly and fell to the ground. The tooth was actually shattered by the shock of the knife. Brother's tooth is broken. Xiaoba, Kruby, and Gio were dumbfounded. What kind of weapon is that? Aaron's teeth are one of the hardest parts on his body. They are strong enough to bite through a warship, but they can't stop biting the sword in this swordsman's hand. Could it be an artifact? The Murlocs who were barely standing around couldn't help being extremely surprised when they saw this scene. This is too exaggerated. Moonlight, the three of Usopp were overjoyed. As expected, Aaron was no match for him. Even before Moonlight's sword came out, the hardest weapon on his body was useless. Damn it, what kind of artifact is your sword? It's actually harder than my teeth. Aaron covered his mouth and backed away abruptly. He was astonished, looking at the moonlight. He himself never imagined that the sharp teeth, which are omnipotent, would become vulnerable. Want to know? Reincarnate in the next life to find out. Moonlight smiled faintly, armed arrogance. Crack. Immediately, a black streak appeared on the Kusanagi sword. Moonlight slashed out with a single sword. Aaron's body is indeed strong, it has surpassed steel. This is the strongest body Moonlight has ever seen. As expected of a shark living at a depth of meters under the sea. A body that can withstand such pressure is indeed terrifying. It would indeed take some time to break through his physical defense. Yueguang didn't want to waste time, and was ready to end the battle. 3 cuts. Suddenly, a 3-stage slash like a crescent moon came out suddenly, and slashed towards Aaron. The slash was fast and ruthless, especially at such a short distance. It was even more terrifying. Aaron had no way to hide, and was cut by the sword force abruptly. Deng deng deng, the sword energy tore through the air extremely violently. Aaron resisted abruptly with his nose. This part is the hardest part of his body. Shake the Moonlight sword chi. However, it only lasted for less than a second. Crack. His nose was cut off all of a sudden, and then the sword energy was torn apart, turning into a 3-stage attack, cutting into his body. Aaron took 3 steps back, his body shook wildly, and then fell down with a plop, kneeling in front of the Moonlight. What? Master Aaron actually lost? How could such a thing happen? Even Aaron was defeated. This human swordsman is so terrifying. This. Seeing this, all the Murlocs around were dumbfounded and surprised. How could this be? The eldest brother is not an opponent. Xiao Ba was shocked. Damn it, is it so powerful? What kind of freak is this? Kruby also stared wide-eyed, as if he couldn't believe the scene he saw in front of him. It's too exaggerated. This. Chirp was speechless. Great, I knew that Moonlight is invincible, because from the time I know him to now, he has never lost. Usopp breathed a sigh of relief and murmured. Did you really win? This green algae is right. Sanji also breathed a sigh of relief. It was Aaron's strength that made him feel lingering. Chapter 45 The Man. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Although he knew that Moonlight was very powerful and he could even draw with Hawkeye, but Aaron's performance was so terrifying that he couldn't help but get nervous. After Luffy was submerged in the sea, Joseph and Johnny hurriedly squeezed the water in his belly, and he still hasn't woken up yet. A devil fruit user is completely useless once they touch sea water. Nami, kill him. At this time, Moonlight grabbed Aaron's head and mentioned it in front of Nami. Okay. At this time, Aaron still had no power to resist. His body was scarred by the Moonlight sword energy, and he knelt on the ground with a little consciousness left, but he couldn't move. Hearing this, Nami's eyes flickered, looking at Aaron's eyes, a little scared. After all, she has grown up under Aaron's shadow for so many years. Aaron's oppression has already penetrated into her soul, and now she wants to kill him, but suddenly her body starts to tremble, and she even feels a little scared. To get rid of your own nightmares and let your fettered heart fly, in my opinion, there is only one way. Kill him, and no one will be able to restrain you again. Moonlight said lightly, throwing the Kusanagi sword to Nami. Nami was already afraid of Aaron to the bone. In front of this man, she didn't have the slightest courage, and her heart was full of fear. This is the shadow demon planted in her youth, and no one can help her except herself. Nami, killing him is not the best way to solve it, but if you want to kill him, I have no problem. However, at this moment, Luffy woke up, looked at Nami, and said in a deep voice, he already knew everything, and he didn't object to Moonlight's proposal, but he didn't agree either. This kind of person is actually not uncommon. In this era of great voyages, there are too many people who have such experiences. This is a tragedy left over from the times. If you kill him here, another Aaron will appear in the next place. You can only be free if you completely open your heart. Sanji lit a cigarette, looked up to the sky and let out a puff of smoke, and said slowly. I can understand your mood best. Ever since I knew Kuluo's true identity, I've been in a cloud of shadows. If it wasn't for you, I might not have died, but I would have lived under the shadow of that man for the rest of my life. But then I had the opportunity to kill him, but I never did it because I suddenly understood that killing and venting hatred is not the best way. Surpassing him, defeating him, and standing in front of him after being stronger than him is the real strong man, so my dream is to become a brave sea warrior. Usopp was also serious, speaking like never before. Whoosh! Sauron fell asleep directly. He was exhausted, so he didn't have the energy to take care of these things. Even if you are not asleep, are you afraid? Dare to face the world's #1 swordsman like Hawkeye without seeing him? These two words are not in his dictionary. Everyone. Nami gritted her teeth, holding the Kusanagi sword fiercely in her hand. People like Eren are indeed not uncommon in this era of great navigation. Kill one Eren, there is another one, she can never kill it all. Nami, I respect your choice. Suddenly, a beautiful female voice sounded. Nami turned her head, but saw the villagers of Noachi Senior Kokosha village holding hoes and weapons coming. Apparently they were ready to rebel. Noachigao looked at Nami and smiled. Yeah Nami, I'm really envious that you have such good partners. They really treat you very well, and they would even give up their lives for you. Dada Jien nodded and smiled. Nami, what do you want to do? We all respect your choice. Not bad. Everyone else nodded and laughed. Immediately, Nami felt a kind of warm power, and looked at Luffy, Moonlight, Zoro, Usopp and the others again, with a smile on the corner of her mouth, throwing the Kusanagi sword back, clapping hands. Sunshine smiled. Forget it, I'm no longer the brat I was back then. After all these years of wind and rain, I already know what to do. After speaking, Nami left gracefully. Ah, Miss Nami, your chic look is really beautiful. Seeing this, Sanji's eyes were filled with red hearts, and he ran up like crazy, showing all his hospitality. This guy. Seeing this, Luffy and the others couldn't help but breathe a sigh of relief. Thank you so much, you are our great benefactors. Please let us entertain you. At this moment, Jien brought the villagers to Uiguang and the others, and said gratefully. Is there any meat? Luffy's eyes lit up suddenly. Have. Jien nodded with a smile. Okay, I want to eat meat. Luffy immediately shouted, and ran towards the village without saying a word, like a thief picking up gold. Boom. However, just as he ran out, there was a muffled sound, as if he had bumped into something, followed by a burst of cursing and cursing. Damn it, what dared to bump into me? I saw Colonel Mouse, leading the navy, encircling the place. Luffy ran in a hurry just now and bumped into him. Who are you? Luffy looked at the mouse suspiciously. Navy, they're the navy. Why did the navy appear at this time, and this Colonel Mouse? He is not a good person. That's right, when Eren was here, I often saw them dealing secretly, and they were collaborating with pirates. Everyone around, seeing this, scolded angrily. Over the years, they have resisted many times and sent distress signals to the navy, but they were all intercepted by this mouse, so that they have been in a state of being ravaged and enslaved. Now that the enemies meet, it can be said that they are extremely jealous. Evil navy. Colonel Mouse. Cut. Hearing this, the gazes of Usopp, Sanji, and Moonlight instantly turned cold. They are pirates, so naturally they are not afraid of the navy, especially this kind of evil navy. Listen, if you don't want to be arrested, hurry up and pay 1,000 million Baileys each. However, the mouse looked at the crowd in front of him, and laughed like a real mouse, pointing at Luffy and the others, and sneered. It's you, who made Nami unhappy with those people, right? Seeing this, Luffy's face darkened. Stop talking nonsense. If you don't want to fight against the navy, then hurry up. The mouse still didn't realize it, and said loudly as before. Rubber. Tomahawk. Luffy shot suddenly, his leg stretched out, and he kicked down. Boom. Before the mouse finished speaking, the whole person was smashed to the ground immediately. How dare you attack me, fuck me. The mouse was so dizzy from being smashed, and after finally regaining consciousness, it ordered angrily. Bold, dare to attack the captain of the navy, it seems that you are going to fight against the navy. Save the colonel. Come on. Suddenly the navy rushed up. Upon seeing this, Moonlight stood in front of them. It's him. Seeing the Moonlight, the mouse trembled. He will never forget, when Nami took out the million Bailey, he encountered the Moonlight scene, terrible. Ah, it's that man, run. Not good, that man appeared again, why, he is here and with these people. Mom, I never want to experience that feeling again. Chapter 46 Reward, 3 Baileys. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Seeing the Moonlight appear, all the navy couldn't help trembling, as if the previous scene was right in front of them. What's going on? The navy can't stand still in front of the Moonlight. Sanji took a puff of his cigarette, wondering. Hey, what's the matter with you? Didn't you yell a lot just now? Why are you like this now? Luffy asked in bewilderment. He really didn't know why the navy, which was still valiant and high-spirited just a second ago, suddenly changed its character. Maybe I'm scared by my name, Captain Usopp. Usopp laughed. No, it's Moonlight. Moonlight did me a favor before. Nami looked at Moonlight with a complicated expression, and told what happened between her and Moonlight. These navies are just scraps. The real elites, even if they are afraid of facing this lord, they will never back down. They are not like them. Jien shook his head, looked at these trembling navy in front of the Moonlight, and said with disdain. Yes, it's this man. These people can't keep awake in front of him. Noa Chigao also nodded, looking at the Moonlight. A gleam flashed in his eyes. After all, after experiencing such a scene, it was the first time for her to meet such a powerful character as Yuegwang. Moonlight? You say they are like this because of the Moonlight? Hearing this, Luffy widened his eyes, as if he had discovered a new continent, and looked up and down at Moonlight, but after looking at it for a long time, he didn't understand what horror there was on Moonlight that could make them so afraid. So it's not because of me. Usopp looked disappointed. It seemed that he was thinking too much. Is it this guy again? How strong is this guy? Even the navy has no fighting spirit in front of him. No, he can't even keep himself awake. Sanji took a deep breath of the cigarette, exhaled it slowly, looked at the Moonlight. His heart was shocked, and it became more and more intense. They automatically ignored the million Baileys hidden by Nami, but were surprised by the horror of the Moonlight, and even the navy was terrified. We are the navy, don't come here. The mouse looked at the Moonlight and trembled. If I don't come over, then you guys go away. Moonlight said coldly. Okay, let's go now, but you are a pirate after all. We are not on the same side. This matter will not end like this. The mouse trembled, not daring to stay longer, and after letting go of the harsh words, it fled with the trembling navy. In the blink of an eye, all escaped, not one left. Thank you so much. From now on, this small island will regain its former tranquility. Jien thanked Yuegwang and the others. It's okay, Xiaoyi. Don't worry, everyone, we are all doing it with little effort. Hey, it's clear that Yuegwang solved it alone. You didn't do anything at all. Faced with the enthusiasm of the villagers, Sanji and others felt embarrassed. However, Luffy and the others were not polite, and walked towards the village with arrogance. Seeing this, Nami couldn't help but stroked her forehead with a helpless expression. Then, along with the crowd, they returned to the village and began to celebrate. Everyone was overjoyed and excited. It hadn't been like this for a long time since Eren ruled. However, when everyone was reveling, the mouse returned to the base with 1,000 navy, and then he quickly came to the office, picked up the phone bug, and dialed directly to the headquarters. What's up? There was a gloomy and cold voice on the other end of the phone. Important information. The mouse screamed. A group of very powerful pirates appeared in the East China Sea, called the Straw Hat Pirates. They defeated Click, the overlord of the East China Sea, and even Eren was killed. Now there is no one in the East China Sea. I request the headquarters to issue a wanted order. Have Creek and Eren been defeated? It seems that it is indeed a bit remarkable. The list of their members, Hearing this, the other end of the phone bug fell silent, and after a while, the gloomy and cold voice sounded again. Yes, the captain is Straw Hat Luffy, the crew is the unknown swordsman Moonlight, the pirate hunter Roronoa, Zoro, the liar Usopp, and the little thief cat Nami. That the mouse quickly reported. He has never met Sanji, but he forgot about Sanji. Receive. The phone bug was hung up immediately. An hour later, a wanted warrant was sent out from the headquarters and sent to various places by Seagull. Suddenly, the whole world knew about the Straw Hat Pirates. However, not many people paid attention to it, because it was just a small pirate with 3,000 million Baileys. In the era of great voyages where pirates rained down, there were so many such pirates that it was not worth mentioning. At this time, someone in the naval base prison got a poster, looked at the bounty offered by the Straw Hat Pirates on it, couldn't help being surprised, and quickly shouted at the man wearing glasses next to him. Captain Crow, look, the arrest warrant for the Straw Hat Kid came out. He actually defeated Click and then Aaron. The Navy offered a reward of 3,000 million Baileys. This kid is developing too fast. That he was surprised. Hearing this, a cold light flashed in Crow's eyes. In a naval base, Kebe and Belmieber were cleaning as handymen. When they suddenly saw a poster, Kebe couldn't help being stunned. What happened? Belmieber asked. However, Kebe didn't speak, just looked at the poster and trembled. Okay. Seeing this, Belmieber looked over. Immediately, as if struck by lightning, he froze in place. After a long time, the two were very excited. Great, Lord Luffy, you finally became a great pirate. Sauron. I didn't expect you to become famous so quickly, that the two said excitedly. Then, Kebe's eyes hardened. Master Luffy has already worked hard towards his goal, so I will work hard too. I want to become an official sailor, Kirby said firmly. I want to become an official sailor too, Belmieber nodded, his gaze equally firm. The two looked at each other, full of energy, and became busy crazily. At this time, all those who knew about Luffy in the East China Sea couldn't help but smile when they saw Luffy's arrest warrant on the poster. The Great Route, Windmill Island, Hongfa and others were hangover from drinking, and it was just dawn, just when they were sleepy. Suddenly, a crew member ran over in a panic, came to Hongfa, and said tremblingly. Captain, something is wrong, He trembled. Don't worry, take a sip of wine to suppress your shock. The redhead laughed and threw out a bottle of wine. The crew member took it and poured it vigorously. After a while, his mood stabilized, and he opened his mouth quickly. It's not good, Hawkeye. Hawk. Before he finished speaking, the hairs all over his body stood up suddenly, and Hawkeye suddenly appeared behind him. All his words came to an abrupt end. Seeing Hawkeye, all the crew members stood up one after another, paying attention to their guard, as if they were facing an enemy. 47 Red Hair Pirates. You are listening at novelfull.audio. No one dares to be careless about this great swordsman who possesses the world's #1 swordsmanship. Hawkeye. Come to me for a duel. I'm not feeling well right now. The red hair glanced at Hawkeye, and said with a drunken eye. I didn't think about fighting with you who lost an arm. I just remembered something you said to me. I happened to meet such a person again and brought you an interesting gift. Hawkeye said indifferently, and threw the arrest warrant of Luffy in his hand. This is Luffy. Is it finally here? Seeing this, the red-haired pupil shrank, and then a look of anticipation flashed across his face. It was as if the long-awaited thing or person had finally appeared. That's Luffy. Jesus Boo also shrank his pupils, looking at Luffy's bright smile on the wanted warrant. This guy is finally here. Lu Deku ate the chicken drumsticks and said with a smile. I don't know how long this kid is doing. Book. A flash of memory flashed in Beckman's eyes, as if he remembered the past. Is it Luffy? Captain, is Luffy coming? It's been a while since I've seen this kid, I miss him a lot. Ha 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 ha. The other crew members became excited when they heard the news about Luffy. They got along with Luffy for a while, and they have a good impression of this hot-blooded boy. Enough loyalty, courage, and want to stand up for them. although young, but a real man. In addition to this, I also met a person, this person will surpass you and me in the future. However, at this moment, a wanted warrant appeared again in Hawkeye's hand. Above is the profile picture of Moonlight. The swordsman of the Straw Hat Pirates, suspected to be the vice-captain, has a bounty of 5,000 million. Huh? Who is he? Luffy's companion? You have such a high evaluation. The red-haired eyes moved, looked at the Moonlight, and asked. It should be a companion. His name is Moonlight. When I went to East China Sea, I fought against him. He was very proficient in training Barque at a young age, and his swordsmanship was unique and fierce. I was excited and fought him a few times. I felt that he still hadn't shown his strength. At that time, someone sneaked up and interrupted our decisive battle. We had to meet next time. Hawkeye said solemnly. Is there such a powerful guy on Luffy's boat? Luffy, you are really lucky, that the red-haired murmured, his eyes turned to Luffy again, although the Moonlight surprised him, but his eyes still fell on Luffy. A swordsman who can be praised even by Hawkeye must be very important, that after accepting the reward order from Moonlight, Jesus couldn't help but look at it. It's really a big deal. Just the arrest warrant gives people a feeling of sword spirit. Riki.Lu said. Since Hawkeye has said so, this person must be very important. It seems that Lu Fei will come to us soon. Book, there was a gleam in Beckman's eyes. The swordsman who surprised even the Eagle Eye. That's really big news. What kind of character is this Moonlight? I really want to see it. It's definitely not an easy character. The reward is 5,000 million Baileys, which is higher than Luffy, and everyone around was startled. Who is Hawkeye, the #1 swordsman in the world, standing on the top of the world, a strong man who has no one else in his eyes except himself, a person who can be praised by him? What kind of existence is that? Okay, since you've come here and brought something so important, Hawkeye, don't even think about going back easily. At this time, the red hair looked at Hawkeye and smiled maliciously. Hey, the people around immediately understood and laughed, seeing the red-haired expression. Even the eagle-eyed man couldn't help but break out in cold sweat, not knowing what this guy was going to do. Come on, let's drink again to celebrate Luffy. However, at this moment, suddenly, everyone around brought a large box of fine wine, and the red hair filled Hawkeye. Hey, you're not hungover, are you? Looking at the expression on the red-haired face, Hawkeye suddenly had a bad feeling. It's okay, are you happy? The redhead laughed. Hawkeye immediately felt that he was on a thief ship. Luffy, something terrible has happened. In Cachexia village, after a night of carnival, everyone fell asleep on the spot, the ground was a mat, the sky was a quilt, and the group slept soundly. Suddenly, Noa Chigao trotted over, panting, looking extremely anxious, holding a few newspapers in his hand. What's wrong? Mokigo. Okay. Did something happen? Nami got up first, looked at Noa Chigao, and asked, then Usopp and Sanji got up one after another, and Moonlight opened his eyes, took a look, and continued to sleep. There is nothing more important than sleeping now. You are wanted, and a new wanted order has come out. Noa Chigao panted, and handed over the paper in his hand. It's the Straw Hat Pirates, everyone's reward. Ah. Got a reward? Nami froze. Great, have I finally become an official pirate? Kuya, have you seen it? Usopp looked at himself on the wanted warrant, tears streaming down his eyes. Without me? Sanji pouted, because there is no arrest warrant for him. Is there a reward of 3,000 million? That's great. Luffy looked at his bounty and felt excited. In this way, he is considered a world-famous big pirate. Am I 1,500 million? Sauron also woke up, looked at his reward order, and laughed. In this way, he is one step closer to his goal. Hey, Moonlight, how come your bounty is more than all of us combined? However, at this time, Usopp noticed Moonlight's reward order and couldn't help but be surprised. There is a reward of 5,000 million Baileys on it. Higher than Luffy and Zoro combined. It's natural to be high. As long as the Navy is not an idiot, it will be able to see the strength of Moonlight. This reward is divided according to strength. But suspected of being the deputy captain? I don't agree. Sauron said lightly. He was not surprised, however. He expressed dissatisfaction with Yueguang as the vice-captain, which has nothing to do with his strength. Yeah, this guy, Moonlight, is indeed terrifyingly strong. He can even take a few tricks from Hawkeye, so it's worth the price. Luffy nodded calmly, recognizing Moonlight's strength. This guy's price is more than that. If the battle with Hawkeye is seen and publicized, it can be doubled. Nami's eyes flickered and she looked at the Moonlight. She knew this man. The horror was unimaginable. Is that what I said? What I mean is that you are wanted. The Navy knows you are here. If you don't leave, I'm afraid you will meet the Navy. Noa Chigao looked at these people and was speechless. Don't you worry. Are you not afraid? That's a reward order. Being rewarded means that not only the Navy will want you, but the pirates and the pirate hunters are all on your heads. What is there to be happy about? Most people should cry and be afraid when they see it. Chapter 48. What a reliable partner. You are listening at novelfull.audio. It doesn't matter. Sauron said lightly. We are pirates, we are natural enemies with the Navy. Why should we worry? If they come, they will kill them. That's right, it's just the Navy. Sanji took a puff of his cigarette. The smoke was lingering, nodded and said. Hey, you two, don't be so indifferent, okay? That's the Navy. At sea, I haven't heard of anyone who can confront the Navy head-on. Usopp was stunned by the conversation between the two, and couldn't help but glared at them. Although the Navy is not to be feared, it is a trouble after all. Since we are going to the Great Route, we cannot waste time here. Moonlight said lightly. You. Hearing this, Noa Chigao burst into tears. Who are these people? Are they really pirates? Okay, let's go. Luffy waved his hand, full of wine, food and sleep. What to do here? As Moonlight said, their goal is the Great Route. How can they waste time here? Huh. Where's Nami? However, when a group of people came to the boat, they suddenly found that Nami hadn't come yet. Eldest sister won't hear what we said and stop coming. Joseph and Johnny immediately thought of it because of what they said to Noa Chigao. Formal people will immediately reject them when they hear it. No, I believe in Nami, she will definitely come. Luffy shook his head, confident in Nami. Miss Nami, you must come. Sanji lit a cigarette, feeling a little heavy. Nami. Usopp murmured. Shoot. The Moonlight is a flash of the body, flying towards the village. Moonlight, what are you going to do? Hey, you. Seeing this, Usopp and the others were taken aback, not knowing why Moonlight jumped off the boat suddenly. I'll go find Nami. If she doesn't come, I'll force her to come. Moonlight said lightly. The sound reached everyone's ears. What? If you don't come, you will be forced to come. Usopp froze. A strange color flashed in Sauron's eyes. The cigarette that Sanji had just lit fell to the ground. Joseph and Johnny stayed in place. Mr. Moonlight, you really are so domineering. Only Luffy nodded with a smile on his lips. He already understood the meaning of Moonlight. They are pirates, how can they be so particular? Mom, and other companions, don't worry, the village has been taken back. It was helped by a group of good partners of mine. Everyone is also very happy, and so is Noa Chigao, and Grandpa Jien. Rest in peace. At this moment, in front of a tomb in Kokosha village, Nami knelt down and whispered. Behind him, Jien and other Kokosha villagers bowed and mourned silently. These are compatriots who died in the hands of Eren. Everyone has been with each other for many years, and they are very familiar inside and out. When they died suddenly, when they saw the tombstone in front of them, as long as they thought of the young creatures under the tombstone, they couldn't help but burst into tears. Nami, are you really going to be a pirate? After a long time, everyone stopped their emotions, and Jien asked young Nami. Yes, my dream is to draw a chart of all the seas in the world, and to be the strongest navigator in the world. I have longed for this day since I was a child. Nami wiped away her tears, nodded, and smiled brightly. Those people are indeed very trustworthy and entrusted companions. I am relieved that you go with them. Seeing this, Jian nodded. They have a very high recognition of Luffy. That's right, Nami, those guys are really not easy. They may be unknown now, but one day they will be famous all over the world. I can rest assured that you follow them. Noa Chigao also nodded. Although she got along with her for a short time, she has already seen through the character of everyone in Luffy. If such a person is not worth entrusting, what else is worth entrusting? Nami, you go, we support you this time. We also support you. There is nothing wrong with being a pirate. This sea is free and vast. Unfettered and free, it's a pity that I am old, otherwise I would like to wander in this sea. Go, Nami, fulfill your dream, and become famous all over the world with them. All the villagers looked at Nami and smiled, encouraging each other. Ah! Hearing this, Nami nodded heavily, with a bright smile on her face. Don't worry, since Nami is on our boat, she won't let her be wronged. If anyone dares, ask about the sword in my hand first. However, at this moment, a cold voice suddenly sounded. I saw Moonlight appearing in front of everyone at some unknown time, but no one noticed beforehand. After being startled, I couldn't help but look at Moonlight. Full of reverence. It's Lord Moonlight. Whether it is Jian, Noa Chigao, and everyone, they all worship Moonlight, because he defeated Eren alone, and even the navy couldn't hold up his head in front of him. This is a peerless powerhouse. On the sea, there is nothing more respectable than a peerless powerhouse. Moonlight. Are you here to pick me up? Seeing the Moonlight, Nami said in surprise. She didn't expect that she would be so important. Not only me, but also Luffy, Saran, Sanji, Usopp, we all want you to be our companion. The Moonlight pointed behind him, and saw Luffy and others, who did not know when, also got off the boat with the Moonlight, followed closely behind, and came here one after another at this moment. Everyone, there was a sparkle in Nami's eyes. Hey, Moonlight, you are so mean. You actually came to Miss Nami secretly by yourself. Do you want to touch Miss Nami, and then make a promise with your body? It's too insidious. Sanji glanced at the Moonlight, highly skeptical. Hey, you're probably the only one who thinks like this. However, Zoro suddenly exposed Sanji's true purpose. Damn it, you green algae head, I'll kick you to death. Sanji suddenly became angry from embarrassment. You curly eyebrows, believe it or not, I cut you off. Sauron was not a good opponent either, and the two began to scold each other. These two, hey. Usopp lightly held his forehead, looking helpless. Nami, come back, we can't do without you along the way. Luffy smiled and looked at Nami. Nami was in a complicated mood. She didn't expect them to actually come. She was about to speak, but found a bunch of words stuck in her throat, and she couldn't say anything. Luffy, do it. At this time, Moonlight suddenly shouted at Luffy. It is good. Luffy nodded, with a scheming smile on his face. He stretched his arms suddenly, grabbed Nami, turned around and ran away without saying a word. Run, Nami's here. Seeing this, Zoro and Sanji stopped arguing, and they ran away. Moonlight took Usopp, and the group quickly boarded the boat and left. Like the wind. They took Nami away. Hey, who is this, stealing people? Didn't Nami make up her mind to go with them? Why did they bother? I don't know, maybe I'm afraid that Nami will change her mind, she's such a reliable partner. Ha 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 ha. Chapter 49 One Sword Divides the Sea. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Just when Luffy and others successfully invited Nami to board the ship, a certain area of the East China Sea, on a new boat, the clown Barque looked at the arrest warrant for Luffy and the others in the newspaper, and couldn't help showing a sneer on his face. Stinky rubber, it's 3,000 million all of a sudden, but it doesn't matter, I finally know your whereabouts. If this is the case, I will have to settle my vengeance with you. Beside Bucky, a woman wearing a black top hat and a black dress smiled and said that she has an extremely graceful figure, especially her skin, which is so smooth that it seems to reflect light. It was Alrita. After she was hit by Luffy, she got the slippery fruit by chance. After taking it, her whole body was so slippery that no attack could touch her. After meeting Bucky, the two hit it off and planned to deal with Luffy together. Great, Captain, now there is finally news about the Straw Hats. Judging by the course, they are also going to the Great Route, and the next place is Rogue Town, where the Pirate King Roger was executed. That the animal trainer Machi laughed, and the lions under him all nodded their heads in approval. Not only the Straw Hat, but also this guy, now I can avenge that sword. Kabaji looked at Sauron's photo and sneered. Little ones, turn around and head to Rogue Town, Bucky announced. That's great, Captain, we Bucky pirates, it's finally time to cleanse our shame. Straw Hat boy, wait for us, this time we will beat you to your knees and call your mother. Forward, Rogue Town. Immediately, all the pirates screamed wildly, turned their course, and headed towards Rogue Town. Ding! You performed a draw and slash, and gained 100 by 100 experience points. Ding! You performed the Raptor Dragon slash and gained 100 by 100 experience points. Ding! You have used your armed domineering aura and gained 100 by 100 experience points. Ding! Pull out the knife and cut to advance to LV4. Ding! The Raptor Dragon slash is advanced to LV2. Ding! Get the new skill Phantom Sword Dance LV1. Ding! The armed domineering color has been promoted to LV4. On the Golden Mary, after leaving Kokoja village, the Moonlight was on the observation deck, practicing crazily. Finally, there is a certain achievement. With a thought in Yueguang's mind, she looked at her own attributes at this time. Moonlight, basic swordsmanship, the system will give you no rank. 3-stage cut, the system will give you no grade. Draw the knife and chop LV51/100000000. Raptor severing /LV21/1000000. Phantom sword dance LV11/1000000. Knowledge color domineering LV41/100000000. Armed color domineering LV41/10. 0000000. Overlord color domineering LV250,000/1000000. Basic swordsmanship and 3-stage slashing are all automatically full level, and the stronger you practice, the stronger your power will be. Because of the frequent use of swordsmanship, he has finally cultivated to level 5. The sword skill at this level has reached the fusion of spirit and sword energy. Without using hands, the powerful energy can create a mental illusion on the opponent. The sword energy is extremely sharp. There is nothing in the world that can stop such a slash. This is also the realm of Hawkeye. Now facing Hawkeye again, Moonlight has the confidence to have a real battle with him. Both knowledge color domineering and armed color domineering have risen to a new level, especially the armed color domineering, which is no longer a simple external weapon, but can be integrated with the inside and outside, with one sword slashing out, directly causing damage inside the body, and the destructive power is stronger. As for domineering and domineering, it is not easy to cultivate due to environmental restrictions, but in the new world, with more enemies, it will be like a fish in water, and the LV2 Raptor severing sky already has the ability to stay in the sea for a short time. The last new skill acquired, Phantom Sword Dance, concentrate all the sword energy into one point, and quickly slash forward, and finally all the sword energy overlaps at one point and explodes. The faster the cutting frequency, the more the sword energy overlaps, the more terrifying the power. Boom! At this moment, suddenly dark clouds billowed, the wind blew, and the sea surged violently. A gust of wind and waves, turbulent, coming violently. Not good, the wind direction has changed, there are big waves coming. Usopp, turn the course and head west. On the deck, Nami, who was observing the sea, couldn't help shouting. Yes. Usopp didn't dare to neglect, and immediately changed course. Luffy, go to inspect the sea. Zoro, pay attention to your surroundings. Sanji, stay put. Moonlight, lower the sails. Then Nami ordered one by one. Ah. Okay, Miss Nami. Zoro nodded, and Sanji responded with a loving face. Only Moonlight didn't answer, but stood up and looked ahead. There was already a huge sea wave with a height of 10 meters rushing over. When his body moved, he jumped out like this. Hey, Moonlight, what are you going to do? Seeing that the Moonlight ignored it, Nami looked at the Moonlight and was about to speak, but suddenly saw the Moonlight rushing towards the waves like an arrow, and couldn't help being shocked. What happened? Sauron was taken aback, and subconsciously pressed his hands on the handle of the knife, thinking that the enemy was approaching. Are there any enemies? Sanji also looked wary. Okay. Usopp couldn't help but look over. Moonlight, what are you doing? Luffy looked at the Moonlight and suddenly jumped down, and asked strangely. Moonlight didn't answer, and under the bewildered and astonished gazes of everyone, Raptor Dragon Duan Kong Zhan broke out suddenly. On the entire sea surface, there were phantoms of him performing Raptor Duan Kong / moving at high speed and rubbing against the air, and there was a sky-shattering sound. He came to the front of the waves, looked at the 10-meter-high sea wall, stood still on the sea surface, and then the phantom sword danced and slashed out. Immediately, Moonlight stood on the surface of the sea like this, slashing fiercely, and phantoms suddenly appeared in all directions, and immediately in front of him, phantoms of sword energy also appeared. This is caused by two fast shots, and these sword chi do not diverge, but condense into one point and continuously superimpose. Boom boom boom, the sea is turbulent, and the 10-meter-high sea wall is coming with a bang. And at this moment, Moonlight made a bold move. I saw a group of sword energy condensed into one body after dozens of slashes, rolling and scattered, and slashed towards the sea wall. Shoo! I saw the 10-meter-high sea wall, which was cut in two under this sword energy. The sword energy was billowing, and a path diverged on the sea. Hiss! Luffy and everyone else couldn't help but gasp. His swordsmanship has improved again. This guy even split the sea wall. Moonlight, you bastard. Wow, Moonlight, you are amazing. Chapter 50 Phantom Sword Dance. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Seeing this scene, Luffy, Zoro, Nami, and Usopp all opened their mouths with shocked expressions. The sea is divided. This is too exaggerated. Not bad. Moonlight nodded, and returned to the boat. The attack power of Phantom Sword Dance was the strongest among the sword skills he knew so far, but it only took about 3 seconds to charge up, and with practice, the number of slashes will increase, and the attack power will become more and more terrifying. Hey, it's too much, Moonlight, isn't it just not bad with such strength? Then how do you let us live? Usopp smiled wryly. This guy has known for a long time that he is very powerful. I have even seen him beating Eren. He is indeed very powerful, but I feel that he is like a bottomless pit. One day you will find that he has already surpassed the level you thought before. What kind of freak is this? Sanji said in surprise, looking at Zoro. Sauron was originally a monster, just like a monster. After suffering such a serious injury, he quickly recovered after sleeping for a few days. He has recovered to his original state. This guy is a monster, but Moonlight is even more a monster among monsters. Is there no limit to this guy? Sauron gritted his teeth and stared at the Moonlight. He was too strong, but the most frightening thing was that he was so strong and practiced so hard. Where was his limit? Beyond Hawkeye? I'm afraid that for him, he can do it now. For the first time, Sauron had the feeling that he could not see the true face of his opponent, and that he would never be able to catch up. Hey, Moonlight, you are really scary. When I first saw you, you were just a little swordsman. Now I feel that you can compete with that eagle eye. You are amazing, Luffy gave a thumbs up and praised. It's not that everyone is too weak. If I am not stronger, what should I do if I encounter a powerful enemy? I don't want to lose one of you before reaching the Great Route. Moonlight shrugged and said helplessly. You bastard. Fuck, I'm not weak. Don't underestimate people. As soon as Yueguang said this, several people were immediately dissatisfied. Usopp Nami didn't say anything, and she knew in her heart that Zoro and Sanji were suddenly dissatisfied, and the two pointed to the Moonlight with unwilling faces. Moonlight waved his hand with a helpless expression on his face. Ha 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 ha. Luffy burst out laughing immediately, feeling that everything in front of him was extremely beautiful. This guy, Moonlight, so he values us so much. Usopp and Nami smiled at each other. Don't want to lose one of them, isn't it just to strengthen their strength for them? I'm a little hungry, Sanji, I want to eat. Moonlight shrugged, left a word, and returned to the observation deck. Bastard, why should I cook for you? Sanji was dissatisfied. Shut up, I want to eat too. Sauron waved his hand and said. And me. I want to eat meat. Luffy also joins in. Cut. I really can't do anything with you. Hey, what do you want to eat? Sanji pursed his lips and looked at Moonlight. Among these people, only Moonlight has a unique taste, and everyone else eats whatever they have. As a qualified cook, he is naturally familiar with everyone's taste. Egg fried rice, big portion. Moonlight said lightly, as a human again, although there are many delicacies in this world, Moonlight still likes to eat fried rice with eggs, which can be said to be an unusual one among the few people on board. As for fried rice with eggs, the taste of different chefs is really different. Wait, Sanji waved his hand and walked towards the cabin. Several other people laughed one after another, waiting for the meal with full anticipation. Sanji's cooking skills are worth mentioning. Rog Town is a town located near the entrance of the Great Airway in the East China Sea. This town has the reputation of the beginning and the end town. Because of One Piece score. Roger was born and died here. Pirates often come here. Of course, the law and order here is also very good. With the famous naval captain and white hunter Smoker sitting in command, it can be said that no pirates dare to come here to make trouble. The people in the town live a very comfortable life. After dinner, after sailing again for half a day, Luffy and his party finally arrived at Rog Town. After stopping the boat at a hidden location in the port, they set foot on this town. My knife is broken, I need to change it. I'm going to see the place where One Piece was executed. I'm going to buy some ingredients. I'm going to buy some clothes. I'm going to buy some equipment. Once ashore, Luffy, Zoro, Usopp, Sanji, and Nami work separately, while Moonlight is in charge of watching the ship. Moonlight nodded. Anyway, he didn't need to buy anything, Nami would help him if he needed it, and everyone felt at ease when there was Moonlight watching the boat, so I wandered around where I could see the boat. Hurry up, give me all the valuables on your body. I'm a pirate, if you don't want to die, just cooperate obediently. Ha ha ha. However, after walking for a long time, I suddenly heard a burst of arrogant shouting and panicked sounds from a street. Pirates, it's really the age of pirates. No matter where, when, and where, there are people like this. Moonlight frowned, turned around the alley, and saw a 3-meter-high scarred man with a scar on his head, dressed in a pirate suit, holding a big knife, leading a group of men on a wide street. If you see anything, you will grab it directly, and if you don't give it, you will kill it with a knife. The entire street was in a panic, and all the civilians fled one after another. Boy, get out of the way, or you will be chopped off. Soon, the man with the scar saw the Moonlight and said with a sinister smile. Moonlight didn't speak, but just looked at the man with the scar lightly, neither sad nor happy. Maz, my boss is talking to you, didn't you hear? I want to say it to death, sir, I will help you. Get out of here, Uncle is in a good mood today and doesn't want to kill anyone. Looking for death, I'll kill you. Seeing this, all the pirates behind the scarred man shouted coldly. Is it all gone? However, at this moment, Moonlight glanced at the civilians who were far away and smiled. He was about to make a move, but he was afraid of harming the innocent, so he waited until the civilians had left before making a move. What's gone? Whoever loses your ringgit will kill you. Fuck, didn't you hear what your uncle said, you're courting death. Hack him. Hearing this, and seeing Moonlight's expression, all the pirates shouted angrily, Moonlight is ignoring their existence, it's too arrogant. Immediately, several people took big knives in their hands and slashed over frantically. The overlord is domineering. Yueguang's pupils shrank, and an invisible evil energy centered on him, and suddenly spread towards the four directions.